Hello and welcome! Silrace here with Heroes of the Treasure Goblin Hunt, as in Heroes of the Storm, and new patch is in, so we're hunting the Treasure Goblin at the start of the match. Now, this is a little bit different because this is also a post-gameplay commentary, but it is also a co-op versus AI. This is actually a co-op game, as you can see. I'm showing it to you here. Right, so there is a reason why this is versus AI game for this week's Support Sunday, because I've been intending to talk about versus games for quite a while. Versus AI games, that is, cooperative games. I'm teamed up with a couple friends for this particular game as well. So, the reason I wanted to talk about co-op, about versus AI, is because, frankly, I feel people dismiss this play type, I guess, very easily and way too easily. It's like, I never play co-op because I get bad habits from it. Well, frankly, also, if you never play co-op, you shouldn't much be talking about what you get out of it. Simple as that, right? If you never do something, then you shouldn't be talking about the benefits of it, or the, well, other things, not benefits, and so forth. Anyways, I'll be honest and say that the AI is not perfect, alright? The AI does its job adequately. They pretty much group up for objectives, something every player should at least learn from, and so on. They can do basic stuff, right? But they aren't going to put out a crazy challenge to people who are actually good at the game. And especially if teams on your side also go for the objective, then it's very likely you are going to win that game. But occasionally you have brand new players or old veteran players who just freaking ignore the objective because it is nice and fun to chase kills against the AI, because the AI does overextend and do all sorts of other interesting things like that. However, sometimes you might even end up losing in a versus AI game, or a co-op game, occasionally. So why should you be playing co-op games, and especially from the point of view of a support, like me walking in here and realizing that, oh, okay, there's actually a whole lot of people here, and our team is not actually really coming in. So, coming in late, that is exactly what I meant about people not really paying attention to various objectives. Now they are, but anyways, took them a while. Anyways. Co-op games are especially from a support point of view, I'll also talk about that. It's like, as a support, well, because as you can see, I'm playing Uther here. Most of the supports you cannot really go in first. You cannot really be your team's, well, frontline for most of the supports. And so you cannot truly dictate the engagements in many cases. So when you have melee assassins on your team and warriors who want to go in first, and because people do go very hard first on various AI games, because granted, like many people completely disregard the AI as a challenge even. So there's like, okay, it's AI, I can do whatever I want and go how hard I want, and then they end up dying because of completely being out of position and whatnot. So there is that. Something to keep in mind, I suppose. But also, from the point of view of support, that is very interesting. Because when people go really hard, you can really practice of the stuff like, can I actually save these guys? Can I steal from this particular situation and whatnot? Can I save this guy who is going crazy balls to the wall into the enemy team? And that is a good way to practice those kind of let's say emergency situations for quick match games, even for ranked games, because like, in what order do I have to burn my abilities to give this guy the highest chance of survival? and so forth. And as you can see, at this point still we are pretty much even in XP against the AI, even though we got the boss then. And AI grouped up to kill the boss, which they did rather rapidly. They have someone here soaking XP from the lane. The Nova isn't the most awesome laner and wouldn't, like in most games, you wouldn't have used the Nova for this purpose. However, as you can see, the AI is basically still doing the correct thing. They are soaking the lane, they are killing the objective, which they did also, and they keep playing, right? That is kind of interesting. It's like you can, for new players, absolute new players, you can learn quite a bit of the game by watching what the AI does, because it does pretty much all the basic things very well. It lanes. Obviously, it is not gonna have the most awesome positioning when it's laning, but that's how it goes, right? And also, the other reason to play co-op games versus AI games is when you need to rapidly do your daily quest business. It's like, do you need to win 3 games and you are having a bad luck winning any of the quick match or ranked games? So just jump into co-op versus AI. You can probably get that 3 wins in 3 games, right? And also, there is, well, aside of that, it is easy and fast ways to do those daily quests. But also, it is a good way to boost your morale a little bit. Let's say you happen to be in a, you know, a bit of a slump, a bit of a, well, losing streak, to put it mildly. Like your last 5 ranked games you have lost a lot of points and whatnot and so forth, and you're feeling down, go play against the AI. It is going to be like a bit more relaxing experience. For one, you don't have to try quite so hard to win, but also, once you win that one game again, you feel like you might want to continue actually playing. When you have lost 10 games in a row and whatnot, you just don't sometimes feel like playing. Then you come and play one co versus AI game and whatnot, and you're like, okay, now I feel like I've just utterly dominated the enemy team. Now I feel like, well, like I am having fun again. And that is important, obviously. If you are not having fun while you are playing this particular game, you are either playing this because it is your work, or you are probably not doing very, very hot. It's like, that's how it goes, huh? Anyways, a couple good reasons there to actually play, not disregard this particular game. A play style, as in the type of a game, co-op versus AI. And another big one, this is, to me is the biggest one, is first game of your everyday. Every time I play first time for that game, for that day, not that game, for that day, I play my first game versus the AI. Why would I do that? Because the first game of the day, your mechanics are not at their peak, like at all. It's like, you're gonna miss skill shots you normally wouldn't ever miss when you are warmed up and whatnot. I call it a warm-up game because of that. Because it's gonna take the one game for all your muscle memory to start kicking in, all those things. And it is better to do that warm-up in a situation where you are not screwing over your team in a, for example, ranked match, where you are, you know, missing skill shots you should not be missing and whatnot. So I frankly would suggest that people play the first warm-up game of every day in co-op versus AI, because it's probably the best way to go about it, right? It lets you warm up to the game, it lets you start your day with a win as well, so you already feel a little bit better about the game when you start jumping into quick match and ranked. And if you are saying that you get bad freaking vibes from these things, like you learn bad habits and whatnot, then play it as if it was a quick match. Don't overextend against the AI, even though you can overextend against it kinda harshly in certain situations. Don't do it. Don't abuse the AI just because it is the AI. Play it like it was a quick match game, right? Anyways, I hardly suggest doing that. And if you are really diligent, it's like, as you can see, I am just going out here and I can do crazy stuff, but although I did miss my heroic. Anyways, if you are really diligent, as I was about to say, you can actually consider playing the first game of every hero you play on that day. As in, let's say I wanna start playing Uther. Like, I wanna grind out Uther for like next 10 games. The first game of that grind, I would play Co-op vs AI. To warm up to Uther, get used to his abilities again, have a look at the talents in peace without having to worry about the talents in a, you know, quick match games. Like, don't have to panic pick talents because you have to pick something in middle of a team fight or whatever, what have you. And so forth. And then, after those 10 games of Uther, I was like, okay, I'm gonna play Brightwing now for the next like 5-6 games. Out of the first one, I would again play versus AI to warm up to Brightwing. And so on and on and on. It's like every time you change a hero for a little while, you could consider playing a Co-op versus AI to warm up to that hero. And also, this is a very good way of testing out various talents. It's like, sure, you can do them on a try map, but here you have friendlies and you have multiple hostiles and so on to really try out some effectiveness of certain talents. And I have done a whole lot of Co-op vs AI with very weird builds just to figure out, like, is this talent actually something I might want to try, and in which situation I might want to try it out. And so when I've played with various friends who Co-op vs AI, it's like, okay, they pick these heroes, I'm gonna pick this hero because there is this talent I wanna try. Is it any good with this composition? And of course, never ever forget about map practice, because that is also one of the key things for Co-op vs AI. Like, this is the brand new map which was just added in the, you know, latest patch. If you have never played this map before, then obviously if you go into your first ranked game of the day and you land on this map and you're like, well, I am doing this for a point, for my ranking point, but also I have no idea how this map functions, right? So you're at a disadvantage against anybody else who basically played even one game of co-op and landed on this map. And they know, okay, you know, at that time that thing spawns and I'm supposed to go there, and so on. So take advantage of Co-op vs AI, because it can be a very good learning tool. And that is exactly what you should do out of it, because that's basically what it was intended for. New players to learn stuff. Even veteran players to learn stuff. You can learn very much out of the Co-op vs AI games. But this game is kind of done here. It will be very soon, very soon over. Just basically final fights and whatnot outside of the, well, AI's core. And a couple levels up and enemy teams kind of wiped and all that stuff. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you, well, learned a few new things to think of when it comes to Co-op vs AI. Like, I highly just suggest not disregarding it, but using it as the tool it is. To make you feel better because you are winning games, to get your warm-up games out of the way, and to learn new stuff, try out new stuff. Thank you very much for watching again.